Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin mi naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I am your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach, and then there's the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night, beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we head south to the little seaside village of Qumixto. We're going to take a ride with our buddy, friend of the show, Super Mario, Captain Morga from Boca de Tomatlan, and we're going to go down south to Quimixto, which is just a little south of Playa Las Animas. And while we are in Quimixto, we're going to talk to your bartender in paradise, Andres Ramos Lopez, known there as Andy by the folks who stop by his trailside bar with an ocean view, and it's appropriately named Andy Bar, of course. After you meet Andy, we're going to need to have some good food and some drink. You're going to recover from either a hike to the waterfall or, well, just because you happen to be on a picturesque beach in paradise, you got to eat, too. So we're going to take you to restaurant El Volador, where you're going to meet the owner. His name is Antonio Herman Michel. His friends call him Herman. He's a very cool guy. So, hey, it's a day trip to Quimixto on the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. But before we get to Mario, Andy, and Herman, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 23rd of September, 2023. Well, astronomers and sky watchers are all giddy. Not about the crazy calcified aliens that look strangely like AT that they dragged out a week or two ago in Mexico, but no. It's an upcoming lunar eclipse, which is scheduled to take place the morning of October the 14th in 2023. So it's coming up in just a few weeks. Now, not all of Mexico is going to be able to see this ring of fire total eclipse like they will in Villahermosa in Tabasco. They're expecting 82% coverage of the sun there. In Veracruz, they're expecting 76%. Up north in Monterrey, 82% coverage. And in Guadalajara, which should include the area of Puerto Vallarta, we will see more than half of the sun blocked by the moon, 92% on the morning of the 14th of October. The fun begins at 9:36 in the morning, and it will progress right along from there. So please remember, even though I'm not a doctor, refrain from staring into the sun. I've been told that behavior can do damage to your eyes. Like you could go blind or something like that. So hey, there are special glasses or whatever that you can get. Well, there's more than a dozen different methods that you can use to gauge the progress of that lunar eclipse. So Google it. Do your own research. Oh, wait, forget that. Anyway, that's going to be coming up if you're in town. Be aware, be ready on the morning of the 14th of October. The dollar. We've been watching the dollar dipping week after week all year long, and finally there's a bit of good news for Americans exchanging their U.S. dollars for pesos. The story is from Mexico News Daily. The peso weakens against the U.S. dollar for the fifth consecutive trading day. Now, this was September 6th, so this is a little while ago. But hey, why not? The purchasing power of people with the U.S. dollars in Mexico remains significantly less than it was at the start of the year, but considerably greater than it was when the peso hit its peak in late July of 2023. If you exchange $100 today, you should get close to 100 pesos more than you would have received just over a month ago. Woohoo! This year has been marked by a strong appreciation in the peso against the dollar, but that appears to be slowing. Mexican peso depreciated for a fifth consecutive day on Wednesday, trading at 17.6 to the greenback in early afternoon, but closing at 17.42 on Tuesday, according to Bloomberg data. Exchanging U.S. $100 at 17.6 rate nets the exchanger 1,760 pesos, whereas a transaction involving the same amount in July 28th would have yielded just 1,662 pesos based on the Mexican currency's strongest position on that date. With the U.S.-Mexican exchange rate at about 19.5 at the start of the year, anyone exchanging a bill bearing the likeness of Benjamin Franklin would have pocketed approximately 1,950 pesos, or almost 200 pesos more than they would get today. The peso reached its strongest position against the U.S. dollar since late 2015 on July the 28th, but weakened almost 2% in August, and has continued to decline in early September. The last time the dollar closed stronger than 17.6 was May 31st, according to Bloomberg. Analysts at Mexican bank CI Banco said that the slide of the peso that began last week with a decision by Mexico's Exchange Commission to reduce a 6-year-old hedge program aimed at reducing currency volatility intensified on Wednesday due to weak economic data out of Europe and China and decreased appetite for risk assets. The negative bias toward assets of greater risk, such as the peso, stems from the idea that the central banks, including the U.S. Federal Reserve, will have no other choice than to maintain their restrictive monetary policies to avoid a rise in inflation. They said the peso's depreciation on Wednesday increases the probability of a sustained depreciation in the short term toward 18 pesos per dollar. Gabriela Siller, director of economic analysis at Banco Base, said on the X social media site. At 2 p.m. Mexico City time, the peso had appreciated slightly from today's low to trade at 17.57 to the dollar. All right, I have a link to that article from Mexico News Daily, which they lifted from El Financiero. That article it's in the show notes at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And when I took a look at the exchange rate this afternoon, they were at 17.21 pesos to the dollar, so it slipped back just a tad. Oh, well, we'll keep an eye on that, shouldn't we? Yeah, we'll keep a close eye on that. Now, last week, I read an email from listener Cheryl. She wanted to know more about the IMSS coverage, or essentially what happens if you have the Mexican medical insurance. And JR, he was listening to the podcast. His ears perked up, and he said, hey, I'm happy to talk about the IMSS, how it works for me. And so I'm going to have him on the show when I get back into town in the end of October. And we'll get his take on how it works for him. Now, he did mention that he has not spent a night in the hospital here in Mexico either. So we'll get the scoop from a Brit using the IMSS system here in Mexico. We'll get him on really soon. Speaking of returning to paradise to celebrate Dia de los Muertos, Debbie and I, once again, we're going to be staying with our buddies Ray and Debbie in PTL, which is very exciting. Now, these Canadians are super, super nice. In fact, Ray and Debbie, they had left their little home in Mexico to go visit with family and their grandbaby up in Canada. So anyway, we asked them if they'd like to fly down, to Los Angeles, and that we show them around, kind of as a way of saying thank you for letting us stay with them in Mexico. Well, unfortunately, Debbie, she had to stay in Canada to help with the baby, but Ray agreed to let us fly him in to visit with us last month in L.A. So, I told him if he wants free lodging and a guided tour of Los Angeles, he better get on down here before we sell our casa and move to Mexico. And he did. So he'd never been to Los Angeles or California for that matter. So we took him to Santa Monica. We took him to Venice Beach and Malibu and Hollywood and Beverly Hills. We took him to a California-style pot dispensary, of course. Got to do that. We even took a road trip to Las Vegas. Now, he'd never been there either. Wow. I mean, talk about overload. That was pretty crazy. We had a blast, I got to tell you. They even had pot dispensaries on the Las Vegas Strip, believe it or not. So, you don't have to bring it. You don't have to bring it. You can just get it there. Actually, we had Chrissy the Brazilian. If you remember, we had her on the show. But she's a great party planner in Puerto Vallarta. And she, like I said, she's been on the show. And she came over to our house with her boyfriend and a couple of her friends for brunch just recently, too. So it's never a dull moment at the Kessler home, the soon-to-be-sold Kessler home. So make your reservations now before we move to Mexico for good. So speaking of dispensaries, I got this email from listener Stacy. Stacy lives in Canada, and Stacy writes, wait a second. This is a weed alert for you, everybody. For those of you who would rather I not talk about the hippie lettuce, you might want to fast forward about somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes. I don't know. It depends on how fast I talk, but cover the kitty's ears, okay? So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Barry, here, you and I briefly met last year in a bank in PV. I still enjoy listening to your podcasts. In several shows, you talk about smoking weed. In Canada, it's been legal for several years. I know several U.S. states have legalized it, but is it legal in Mexico? I'd be concerned about spending time in a Mexican prison. Stacy. So yeah, Stacy, I remember meeting you at an ATM over on, it was on Juarez. It was over at the Banco Santander, right near L'Angelo de Napoli, near that yummy little Italian restaurant, and just below the Vallarta Co-work. I saw you and your spouse. So yeah, nice to hear from you, and thanks for the email, and thanks for listening, Stacy. So, okay, now it's a bit complicated, and all I can do really is just tell you what I do. I can tell you what my experiences are in and around Puerto Vallarta, and kind of give you maybe some suggestions. So, pot in Mexico has actually essentially been decriminalized. If you are a Mexican, for example, you can apply for one of those, you remember in the old days, you would apply for in the States anyway, like a medical marijuana card. You go see a doctor, and then, he'd fill you out something, and then you would go and be able to buy weed. So you'd be able to hold marijuana, you can grow marijuana, and so on if you had a card like that. Now, so if you're Mexican, you can smoke legally as long as you do it in the privacy of your own home. There are rules just like there are anywhere else. But if you're not Mexican, it's too bad. I mean, they wrote the law so that they can basically, if you get caught with pot, you are still at the mercy of the police. Now, unlike in the States and actually in Canada, where the government acts as the cartel. I mean, if you buy $100 worth of weed at my local dispensary here in California, after taxes, that $100 just turned to $130. The government takes a ton of money taxing the pot. So yeah, the government acts like the cartel in the States, while the weed that's sold throughout most of Puerto Vallarta and throughout most of Mexico is actually sold by the cartel. Now, pick your poison. So, now I've talked about the packaging of weed that you buy on the streets in Puerto Vallarta. It's generally, it's packaged in a colored baggie. The color, it varies oftentimes with the seasons. Like, Halloween time, you might find that the pot's going to be in orange baggies. Christmas time, maybe in red or green baggies. And Valentine's Day, pink, you know what I mean? So, or anyway, it's not all the time. The color doesn't always coordinate with the holiday, but it does kind of happen like that, right? So, just saying. Now, each of these baggies that you buy are going to have a small sticker on it. And the sticker is going to measure like a 1/4 inch square. It's going to have a special insignia on it. It's different from time, but sometimes it's like a holograph. Sometimes it's not, But what I always tell everybody that it's important if you do buy weed and you do get it in one of these bags that you keep it in that baggie that you bought it in. That way, if you do get caught by the authorities, they will recognize it as being from the cartel. Okay, in other words, it's safe weed. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because I call it safe weed doesn't mean that the cops are not going to mess with you. They're not going to arrest you and throw you in prison with Martin the molester, okay? They're going to try to extract as many pesos as they can from you, that's for sure. But you're not going to get any Midnight Express or Papillon action, if you know what I mean. Now, I've always had a friend in Puerto Vallarta buy me weed ahead of time so that when I arrive, it's there waiting for me. And then I usually turn around and I give half of it back to him because I'll never be able to smoke it all. Now, I got lots of options because I know quite a few delinquents and freaks in town. And I know that you might not have connections like that, at least not yet. So now, the last time down in Paradise, I had, for the first time, the experience of buying a north of the border style disposable THC style vape pen. And it was really good. So I'd suggest that you might try what I did and just walk on into some independent little vape shop in town and ask them if they carry any THC vape. And you just might be pleasantly surprised like I was. What are they going to do? Call the cops? So that could be one of your options. As far as the guys selling on the Malecon, you can buy from those guys. I mean, I've talked with a few. They're actually really friendly. And I'm sure that, Stacy, you've been hit up by them from time to time. I get pummeled by them every time I walk by. I have a tattoo on my forehead. It reads, "Sell me pot." It must, because I swear these guys are all over me. Now, these guys are the cigar sellers, the pipe salesmen. They hang out from like Lapa Lapa down there all the way up to like where the Oxo is over on the Malecon extension. Next to Claudia's place, the Taco Time taco stand over there. Between the Sea Monkey over at the Vesta del Sol, condos over there, and the Plaza Mar condos. Those guys. They start with the cigars and pipes, and they move to the marijuana, the mota, and then they move to the cocaine, and then to the chicas faciles, the easy women. The guys are pretty swift. Now, a baggie of weed, like an ounce, when I come to town, it should cost you sometime between, when I get it from my friend, somewhere between 300 and 500 pesos. Of course, that, again, like I said, it's got to be a local that's going to pick that up for you. Now, there are at least 3 grades of pot now being sold under the cartel label. Look for the cartel label. So, as the quality varies, so does the price. And the lowest grade being 300 pesos. And they got a middle grade sitting around 500. And they got a premium grade that's about 900 pesos an ounce bag. Now, I asked these guys for prices, over on the Malecon. It seems like they're getting like 500 pesos for like a 1/4 ounce of weed. So they're They're taking that 500 peso bag and they're cutting up into 4 pieces, and they're selling you this, for 500 pesos. So if you pressure them a bit and you tell them that you got friends in town who buy it for much cheaper than that, they might adjust the price a little bit. Now, if I were to buy from one of these pipe salesmen, I'd do it one of 2 ways. One would be to sit at one of those beach bars in the area, like Burro Bar, and wait for one of these guys to walk by while you sip on a cold beverage, and offer you the entire package, right? So do the deal there, right? And you pay for your drinks, and you head back to your condo or wherever it is you're staying right afterwards. So that's one way. Or, you could sit right there on the wall, right over there, and wait for someone to come over and talk to you. But if you are planning on buying weed and you're thinking about it, you think about maybe doing be prepared before you get over to the area. What you want to do is you want to put some folded pesos in each of your front pockets. So have like 500 pesos in one pocket and have like 800 pesos in the other. And then just be prepared so that you can reach in either one of the pockets and pull out exact change so you're not fumbling around with pesos. So when one of these guys starts to spiel, you keep walking, but talk with him. Talk him up as you're walking. And now he's following you. Now, while you're walking, get a price from him. Now, you control the conversation so that you know what you want to spend. You agree on a price, either 500 or 800 pesos with this guy, depending on your comfort zone, of course, and keep on walking. Ask him where you'd like to exchange the money for the mota, for the weed. Make sure you're comfortable with the location. Take a look around. Reach in your pocket. Get out your pre-counted pesos. And if you planned it out right, you know what you're going to be pulling out of your pocket, money-wise. And you're not going to be struggling to count the money. And you make the trade, and then you walk straight back to your place and put it away, of course. Don't smoke it until you get back to your place. And make sure nobody follows you back. Never tell anybody, these guys, where you're staying. Sometimes they want to know where you're staying. Don't tell them where you're staying. And that's what you do. Now, I always stay either at an Airbnb or at a friend's house, or at a kind of a local hotel that has a balcony or a rooftop where I can enjoy my weed without bothering anybody, of course. And, where somebody won't be calling the cops on me. So I don't worry about being thrown in a Mexican prison or having the cops being called on me. Just kind of play it safe. And that, Stacy, is what I can tell you about the weed in paradise. And, hey, call me if you got any questions. I'm a realtor. I'm listed everywhere. Truly. Now, speaking of partying about town, I've been in touch with the new owners and operators of what used to be the El Rio Barbecue in Paso Ancho. The new venue is called La Huerta Barbecue and Grill. La Huerta means the garden in Espanol. And I conversed with Jesus, who told me that they've lined up top bands in Puerto Vallarta to play when they kick off their season. So far, they've got the Geckos on Wednesday. They got the Lovers on Thursday. Fridays, they're still looking for a band to fill that slot. Saturdays, they have the Tres Cuartos. And Sundays, they're going to have some Western music with the Wendingos. So it's great to know that lovely venue beside the Rio Quale up in Paso Ancho with those soaring cliffs, those little kids jumping fearlessly into the river from the swinging ropes, the barbecue, the bands. It looks like all that great entertainment will take up where El Rio Barbecue dropped off at the garden, La Huerta Barbecue and Grill. So stay tuned for more information as it comes in. We will be talking with them in October. Okay, hey, let's get to our day trip to Qumixto, shall we? Now, the little village and beach of Quimixto is located just south of Playa Las Animas. And according to our friend Samuel Resendiz from a couple weeks back, Samuel says that the hike is really easy from Las Animas to Qumixto. Well, he actually takes the one from Boca de Tomatlan all the way to Qumixto. So we've taken that one from Boca de Tomatlan to Las Animas, but we've never been to Qumixto. Now, you can take a Panga, a water taxi. You take a Colectivo, which is kind of like, with a whole bunch of other people. You take it from Los Muertos Pier all the way to Qumixto. Or you can take a bus down to Boca de Tomatlan. You take that from town. And then you hop on a water taxi, also Colectivo, over at the pier. That will take you to the pier over at Playa Qumixto. Or you can hike the whole way, like I was talking about earlier, from Boca de Tomatlan all the way to Qumixto. That is, if you want to do that, it's kind of a little bit of a hike. But now we didn't do any of that stuff. What we did is we made plans for a private Panga for a driver, our driver in paradise. And our driver in paradise, as far as Pangas go, is Mario Morga, Super Mario Cesar Morga. And, he was on the show some time back. We went to Yalapa with him. And if you haven't heard that episode, I will put links to that episode and to the show notes for that show in the show notes for this show. So look for it there if you haven't heard him or seen it. Now, make sure that you have a plan. If you are going to be going down and taking a bus down to Boca, you need to have a plan when you get to that bus stop. You walk down a little hill into Boca, and as you go down that hill, you need to be prepared. You're going to be swamped by all kinds of guys with clipboards. You're going to be swamped by Panga captains, guys working for Panga captains, and they all want you to use their guy and their services. So be ready to negotiate, or be ready to tell them, hey, I'm going to be taking a water taxi Colectivo, and make sure you make your way towards the pier, which, by the way, is being rebuilt. It's still being rebuilt. And they will actually, those Colectivo boats will pick you up on the beach right next to the pier right now, at least for now. So we had plans. We had made plans with Mario, and my wife, my son Zachary, and his fiance and I took the Mismaloya bus down to Boca de Tomatlan. We got off and we headed right down the hill into town. And yes, we were being hit from all sides by all kinds of people asking how they could help us, when Mario walked up and rescued us from the mob. And the minute that he recognized me and he called my name, the crowd just melted away. It was kind of funny how that happened. And then we were off to his Panga. Now, Mario has a new Panga, which is extremely comfortable. It's a great ride. And actually, he'll be telling about it in a few minutes. But if you can, and if you want a personalized experience in this part of the bay, Mario is your man, really. Now, we sailed past Playa Colomitos and the Ocean Grill. We went past Playa Las Animas, and then actually past Quimixto over to Las Caletas, and Mahuitas, where we did some snorkeling. And then we went back to Qumixto, which was almost deserted, to be honest. I mean, it was amazing how quiet it was. Compared to Las Animas and Yalapa, it's kind of a ghost town, if you ask me. A beautiful ghost town, mind you. Now, Mario dropped us off at the small pier there, and then he moored his Panga with his helper, and then he joined us for a walk into the town. Now, our first stop was a sweet little bar, actually. It's kind of a surprise. You're walking, boom, there's a bar right there on the trail, built right off the road. And it's got a sweet view of the bay from tables and chairs that are set up under a palapa. The bar is called Andy Bar. And, well, you know what? Let's visit the guy who runs the place. His name is Andres Ramos Lopez, or Andy, from Andy Bar, in the village of Qumixto, Cabo Corrientes, just south of Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Andy, thanks for coming on the show today.
Oh, thank you for visit to this area, Quimixto.
So, are you from Qumixto? ¿Eres de Qumixto?
Sí, I'm from here, Quimixto, all my life.
So, Qumixto is a small town, right? It's kind of tiny. It's like a village.
It's a small town. How many people here? It's 500 people. This town is this place is muy quiet, muy beautiful, and I like it here.
Yeah, we like it here too. So you're like on the pathway to, like, people are walking up to the waterfall and getting ready to do their thing, and you got a bar here. Tell us about your bar.
Oh, I say, hey, come on, welcome to my bar, Andy. And everybody say, no, on the way back. Okay, I wait for you here.
So you don't get them on the way up; you mostly get them on the way back. Is that what happens?
See. And the way back, everybody say, yeah, when they're tired, yeah, they're thirsty, and no, it's fine.
Yeah,
fine.
they say listamos, right? We're ready to drink. ¿Qué es su especial? What's your special here?
Oh, my margaritas, pues local people drinking micheladas, and mojitos.
Mojitos. So micheladas and mojitos. Do you put any of that crazy? You put any shrimp in the micheladas, or are they just mostly just your beer and your clamato juice?
Yes, beer, clamato, shrimp maybe later.
Oh.
Yeah, and only beer and clamato and salsas and.
Right. You don't get involved in that food thing. Just the drink thing, right?
Yes, this drink. Yeah, only drinks. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to have a picture of Andy and his bar. They're going to be in the show notes. You're going to find them at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com, and make sure that you get that drink. Maybe after you take that horseback ride, or you trip yourself up to Qumixto waterfall. How far is the waterfall? Is it too far?
The waterfall is not far. It's maybe 30 minutes walk. Yeah, 30 minute walk.
Yeah. So someone like me could walk there in 30 minutes?
Yeah. Or you can go by horse. And by horse is more fast, más quiet, más relax. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Do you have a favorite restaurant in town here? Do you have a favorite one? Can you tell me what it is, or will you get in trouble if you say one? Or
Pues all the restaurants is beautiful, like food. I don't have where is the best, but everything is good food.
Excellent. Andy is a diplomat, and that's wonderful to know. Perfecto, Andy. That's the way to do it. So, Andreas, you got a Facebook page? Andy, you got a Facebook page?
Yes, my Facebook is andybar.com.mx. This is my página, yeah. And you can see my pictures and everything.
And everything is there. So I'll have a link to that in the show notes as well, right? So make sure you check that out too. Thanks for talking to us, brother.
Oh, thank you for coming to this Quimixto, to my place, to visit this area. Thank you, Barry, for coming.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much. Hey, make sure that you have a drink with Andy after you hike to the waterfall. Or he actually has, he has to-go cups if you want to get a head start on your buzz, if you know what I mean. So Andy also has local raicilla. It seems everybody there does. Just saying. And I do. I have pictures, and I have Facebook links, and I have links to his website over in the show notes. Take a look. Now, Andy and his bar, they were both great, but you know what? When you're in paradise, you need more than just alcohol. You need to eat. So we asked Mario if he would take us to one of his favorite beach restaurants, which he did. And the kids, our son Zachary and his fiance, they headed up to the waterfall. They walked right up from Andy Bar, while Mario walked us through the village and clear over to the far side of the beach, almost to the far north end of the beach, to a lovely palapa, a beach restaurant called El Volador, the Flying Fish. Now, we ordered our drinks and we ordered some food while we waited for the kids to come back from the waterfall. And while we waited for the food to come, I broke out the microphone and I decided we needed to get caught up with Mario. So, before we talk with the folks at this lovely restaurant, let's see what's new with our friend Mario Cesar Morga, Captain Morga, Super Mario, in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Mario, thanks for coming on the show again.
Hello, Barry. Good to see you again.
Now, Mario, you have a new boat. Tell everybody about your new Panga.
Nice. Yes, I got a new Panga. It's 27 foot. I have center console, and I have a 115 horsepower engine, Yamaha. Super nice. 4 strokes, and the capacity for the boat is 15 people.
Really?
Very
15?
comfortable.
15, really?
Yes,
Wow.
15. We can do, well, when I take people fishing, I take only 4 people.
Okay.
For fish really good. Because we need a space sometimes,
Yeah.
to fight with the biggest fish. Yeah.
Yeah, you need some elbow room, right?
Yes, sir. So every time when I have a group for snorkeling, I can fit 15 people on my boat.
Wow.
Or
Okay.
sightseeing, yeah.
And it's a comfortable boat.
Yeah.
Now you also you got these the seats that turn, like kind of spin around, like little, what are they, captain seats? What do they call those?
Yes, those that's for fishing. When
Okay.
we fight for the fish, that's the best way to fight with the fish. Yes.
Right. So you move with them, right? You move
Yes.
along with them. How interesting
Yes.
is that?
Yeah.
All right. So now remind everybody the places that first of all you're at a Boca, right?
Yes.
You come out of Boca.
Yeah.
So remind everybody when they want to get a hold of you and they want to either go fishing or
Sightseeing, snorkeling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do they do
especially
that?
fish. So, yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Mario's Tours Vallarta, on Facebook page. I have Instagram too, and I have a cell phone also. I have WhatsApp, 322-168-9620. That's my WhatsApp. You can send me a message, and I can answer as soon as possible. I'm ready to take you to the south area of Puerto Vallarta to show you around my areas. Like nice of the tiny beaches, Qumixto, Madagascar. We have places with services like Animas, Quimixto, Yelapa. Now, in this time of the season, the rain season, Quimixto is super nice because they have lots of water on the waterfall.
Yeah.
It's super nice pool on the waterfall and Quimixto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you were in Qumixto, you were doing you were either walking to the waterfall or you can actually take a horse, right?
Yes, we have horses for rent, and it takes 25 minutes from the beach to the waterfall, or you can go hiking too. The hike takes only 30 minutes, and it's a nice path, so it's really easy. Just I suggest you to bring some tennis shoes or nice comfortable sandals to walk because it's a little steep the road, but it's really easy and fun.
How about like mosquitoes, stuff like that? They should maybe have some repellent with them, maybe?
Yeah, I suggest, bring
Okay.
some mosquitoes. How you
Repellent,
call it?
right?
Repellent,
Yeah.
repellent, yeah.
Now, when people go on a beach day with you and they're coming out to any of these places, what should they pack? I mean, what should they have with them? I mean, I know that you bring water for us. But
Yes, I have a cooler.
Yeah.
So they need to bring only towels. I have the snorkel gear in case that we do a snorkel. If you hire me for fishing, I have all the fishing gear. So only you need to have fun. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just have fun. Bring your wallet.
Bring your
because,
wallet, the
you'll
money.
need that.
You need money, yes.
Yeah. All right. So we are now in Quimixto, which is pretty darn quiet. It's like a itty bitty little town, and it just has a couple restaurants on the beach. What are the names of all those restaurants? You know them?
There are 3 restaurants,
Okay.
super famous. One of the oldest is Charlie's restaurant. It's in the Playa Volador. And the second next to Charlie's is El Volador. And then Cocos Bar and Quimixto too. There are 3 restaurants. They're open brand new restaurant,
Yeah.
but I forget the name right now.
In town?
No, they're on the beach too.
Oh, they're on the beach.
So now they're gonna be 4 restaurants in Quimixto.
Okay, very good.
They have good seafood, fresh seafood. So yeah, they have super good drinks. The special margaritas. They have margarita mangoes, strawberry, and lemon, passion fruit. They're super nice margaritas.
So right now we're in El Volador, and as if you have been listening to the podcast, then you know that we are looking for the real margarita. We're looking for the one that comes in like the glass, like the goldfish bowl, like this thing. And I have to say that El Volador has the goldfish bowl, and it's a pretty good margarita.
Yes, that's where.
It's delicious, says Debbie. Okay, good. That's not bad.
Yeah, man. So they have different options. I told you. My best is the passion fruit and mango. Mango is super good because there's natural mango. It's not a syrup. No, it's natural.
That's right, because in Puerto Vallarta, mangoes just fall off the trees. I mean, why? Why would you get anything but a fresh mango, right?
Yes, right.
Anything different happening on the bay with any of the other places? I know you pointed out a couple of clubs. There's a couple of beach clubs that are new. Maybe you want to kind of tell us about those.
Yeah, they're growing some business on the beaches. They're open beach clubs. They're all the weekends. They're super busy. A lot of young people go get crazy there, dancing. They have a DJ. They have good drinks. So they have fun. Yeah. Most of the time, they're on the weekends.
Right.
They start 2 p.m. and they finish at 9 p.m. So it's super cool to be there. But the access is only by boat. That's the most important.
Yeah, right. So you don't want to be there at 9 p.m. without a boat, right?
Yeah, so we take care of you. If you hire us, we make sure you're gonna go back to Puerto Vallarta.
Okay,
yes.
Very good. So if you want to do a little, if you want to do some clubbing, if you want to do some really cool stuff, like right on the bay on some beach somewhere, I mean, get a hold of Mario and he will take you there. I mean, it's different. I mean, it's something that's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to, in town. So
we're ready to take care of you.
Yeah.
We're going to show the south area of Puerto Vallarta, which is nice, incredible places, nice beaches, better than Puerto Vallarta, I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the color of the water. Now, in the rain season, it's a little murky here, but it's super nice waters here.
It is.
Beach.
I mean, Mario's going, hey, look over the side, will you? And we're looking over the side, and you can see the bottom. You can see, the sand, and you can see the fish. And, I mean, it's remarkable. So, anyway, remember Mario? I mean, it's been a couple of years since we visited with Mario. I think it's been about 3 years since we visited with you, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's about time. It's so nice to see you again. Thank you so much for taking us around the bay today. And remember Super Mario. And like I said, check out the website. We'll have all of the links there. www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Hey, let's have a margarita.
Let's go. Let's get the margarita. Have fun, guys. Bye-bye. See you soon.
Thank you, Mario. I love that guy. And you will too. I'm going to tell you what. We have all of his contact information in the show notes. If you haven't met Mario yet, you need to meet him. His Panga is top-notch. And Mario, he's the best. Now, I met Mario through our buddy Jimmy Pluff. Jimmy Pluff, of course, if you know, is from the Vallarta Food Bank. And Mario, the time I met Mario, he was volunteering his services to help the food bank deliver life-sustaining supplies to the coastal villages that were damaged during Hurricane Narda. That was in late September of 2019. Actually, we took the show down there back in 2019, and that's where I met Mario. Mario also was one of those warriors who went to battle against the folks who wanted to build that dam over on the Rio Horcones, if you remember that. If you remember the change.org petitions that we were all signing back then. Well, anyway, his work and the work of others actually paid off. They took the matter all the way to the President of the Republic and stopped the project for good. How about that? So that's the kind of guy that Mario is, okay? He has a great outlook on life, and he will take really good care of you. So don't hesitate. Do not hesitate to hire him and have him take you and your friends and your family out for a great day on the bay. Now, as for the clubs that operate during the weekends, where you dance and you drink and you enjoy, like a mini rave that we were all talking about there. Now, that's just another experience that you can have on the bay. Maybe for your younger folks, or maybe for your older folks. I don't know. Anyway, I'll have a link to those beach clubs in the show notes at www.puertovallartravelshow.com. Now, next, we're going to meet a very nice, soft-spoken man. His name is Antonia Herman Michel, and Herman has a restaurant background in the fact that his family operates a very popular restaurant in Mismaloya, but Herman is the man in charge at this very cool restaurant. The restaurant is called El Volador, which is the flying fish, and it's set right on the beach in what one can only call paradise. So, let's go there right now to a table set in the sand under a palapa in a cute restaurant. El Volador, festooned with surfboards, located in a little village of Qumixto in Cabo Corrientes, just south of Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Herman, thanks for coming on the show today. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You are a native of Quimixto?
I'm from Mismaloya,
Ah.
but I moved to Quimixto 10 years ago.
Very good.
I started my restaurant 5 years ago. It's a little restaurant. I started only with 5 tables. See, and this I like the little town. It's very beautiful. No route to this area, only by
Yeah.
boat.
Right.
Yeah, and you can make different activities like walk to the waterfalls, surfing in a season like November to April.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got some real waves here.
Oh
huh?
yes, this is the area. No,
Really?
oh
Wow.
yes.
Okay.
Or you can go to snorkel. Yeah. Well, in a special season too, because in a rainy season the water is a little.
Yeah, it gets affected by the rivers.
Because we got some rivers here, and the water is not too clear. Yeah, but you can do different activities. You can walk from Boca to Quimixto. See, you can hike in.
Really? You
Yeah,
can,
oh
huh?
yes, it's very beautiful because you can stop like in Colomitos,
Right.
in Las Animas, and in Quimixto.
Okay. So that route from Las Animas to Qumixto, it seems like it maybe goes through. Does it go on the beach or does it go through the jungle or where does it
It's
go?
close to the ocean. Yeah, we got routes from Boca to Quimixto.
Okay.
Yeah, not too far from the ocean. Yeah, you can enjoy, you can explore, and you can see a lot of animals when you walk to here, like iguanas, like raccoons, different animals.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you can stop in different places to take one soda, one beer, or swim. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And when you stay in Quimixto, I got my restaurant. See, the name of my restaurant is El Volador. I got a good margaritas, piñas coladas, rum punch, mai tai, tequila sunrise, and a good lunch and breakfast too. Yeah, in the morning, like omelettes, huevos rancheros, with hams, with guacamoles, nachos, shrimps, lobster, fish. Everything very delicious, very fresh. The ocean to the
ocean to your kitchen, huh?
To the kitchen
and to your table. And I'm looking at this little feast that we've ordered here. I mean, we've got some yummy ceviche. I mean, it looks gorgeous. I can't wait to dig in. What is your special? What is the house special here? What'd you say?
We can make different specials like the combination shrimps, like 2 coconut shrimp with the mango sauce, 2 bacon shrimp stuffed with cheese with pineapple sauce, and 2 breaded shrimps. All the seafood platter with a little bit of everything, with mahi-mahi, red snapper, lobster, shrimp and octopus sartee. See, a little bit of everything.
Wow, yeah, the mariscada.
Mariscada.
Yeah, look at you. All right. Hey, this is really great. I'm going to make sure that I've got pictures of all the food porn, and I'm telling you that I will have them in the show notes at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. You have a Facebook page?
No.
Why not? Come on, I'll do one for you. I'll work on it for you.
All right.
Well, don't worry about it. I'll make sure that everybody gets here. What is? Now, you said the name of this place is Volador.
El Volador.
El Volador, which is
Is the fly fish in English.
a flying fish. Fish. Because I know that there's the Volador de Papantlas. Which
this is a different
Volador
Volador
over there, but we're talking about the flying fish. How cool is that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, can I ask a little? Let me ask you a little bit, because you are from originally, you say, from Mismaloya.
Mismaloya.
And now you're living in Quimixto. So, what's that like? What is that like?
Quimixto?
Yeah.
Well, it's a different life, no? Because not too many, no traffic, because
Right.
no route to these areas.
No cars,
Well,
right?
Well, this is the paradise. Nice, quiet. See, it's not big village. It's like 400 people live on this little town. See, that's why it is very, very quiet.
Yeah.
You can enjoy the day. Not too many restaurants. It's like your own beach.
It is.
In Quimixto. See, and well, I don't know what I say, no, because when you stay here, you need to explore the little town, no, because you can go to the little town and you can taste the raicilla, the moonshine.
Yeah.
See, in the little town. See, and when you go to the waterfalls, you can go in a horses. This is very beautiful. Unique coming to Quimixto. See, if somebody hear me, I invite to Quimixto, because this is the paradise.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
I got to say, I mean, just sitting here on the beach, it's calm. It's just like having your own beach. It's just amazing, really.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
See, and I say not too many places. See, it's like only 3 restaurants in the whole beach.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We got a river, very beautiful river. See, and now the ocean is very calm. You can swim. Yeah. And in November you can come in for surfing. Yeah. Or diving, snorkeling. See, a lot of different activities you can do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. In just little place, all these things that you can do. Hey, Herman, you have any of that raicilla that you serve that here?
Oh,
in your
yes.
restaurant?
I got a different flavor raicilla. One is cuastecomate, is one fruit, unique taste. And the other one is arrayan. Sometimes I got other one is like we call passion fruit.
Passion fruit.
Passion fruit. But it's very delicious too. You need taste now the cuastecomate, raicilla. Our family, like grandparents, they use like for medicines.
Yeah.
The cuastecomate. They drink 1 shot every morning.
Yeah.
When they don't feel good. With colds, cold or your body don't feel good.
Right.
They drink 1 shot, but when they drink a little bit more, they are very drunk.
So it's got to be measured properly.
Only one, like 2 ounces, and that's it. That's good for your body.
All right. Well, I'll test you. I will report back to all of you, and I will let you know what I thought about it. And I'm sure, Debbie, you'll report back to me too. Thank you very much. It's nice to have your wife with you sometimes, just because if you have to sample a couple of raicillas, it could be a little tough. Oh, my God. Herman, is there something I forgot? Is there anything that you wanted to say before we said goodbye today?
Well, maybe you say if I got it right here, but I got it the best Coco Loco.
Oh, talk to me about the Coco Loco. First of all, tell people how do you make a Coco Loco?
Okay, the best Coco Loco, we use a little rum, vodka, gin, orange liquor, coconut water, coconut cream, lime juice, and grenadine.
Oh, wow.
Very little grenadine because everything is a little bit sweet, but when you taste, very, very delicious.
Coco Loco is the way to go here. Okay, at Volador. Okay. Wow. Okay, all right. So anyway, I will have a picture of Herman's smiling face. I'll have a picture of the little restaurant here on the beach, of course. And like I said, the food porn, I will have really pretty pictures of the food here. And of course, you'll find it in the show notes tonight. Herman, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking with me, taking time out of your busy day. I know you're busy. You're always everybody needs you here. But thank you. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and to let me introduce you to my audience. I truly appreciate that.
Thank you. And I hope you'll be back next time, okay?
Absolutely. And I hope that all of you take Herman's advice and come to Qumixto and come to his restaurant.
Gracias.
Thank you, Herman. Food was delicious, by the way. And the margaritas, they're great. The raicilla, forget it. Everything was just lovely. What a wonderful afternoon that was. I have pics in the show notes of everything. I got the food, the beautiful beach. I've got Facebook links. I got a map. It'll take you right to the Palapa, right on the beach. El Volador in Quimixto, Playa Quimixto in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. You got to go there if you haven't been. And, it's amazing. It's a quaint little village, lovely, very uncrowded. It's Vallarta of old, really. All right, well, that should do it for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursions, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com, that's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him, right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else. So do it, really. And when you do take one of these tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget his maps, his DIY tours, and I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and follow, share with a lover of Puerto Vallarta, or give me a good review wherever or however you happen to be listening. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with every episode I create, but if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have the links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures and more right there in my blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you, Mario Cesar Morga, Captain Morga. Mario is a great guy to know in paradise. He's a great Panga guy, fishing guide. He knows the Bahia there. I have all his contact information in the show notes, of course. And hey, thank you, Andres Ramos Lopez. Andy from Andy Bar. Stop by his cool bar on the way back from your waterfall trek. Or, skip the hike and just drink. I have Andy's information in the show notes. And thank you so much to my friend Antonio German Michel from restaurant El Volador in Playa Volador in beautiful Quimixto. The food is delicious, really, really is. And the drinks, very good. excellent raicilla, and margaritas. Man, all of them really, really love. I have all that contact information in the show notes. Again, you can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for y'all to slow down, be calm, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino eterno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.